I have to admit to you, I am not a motorcycle rider. Yet.
This day is for us to be at the wall and to salute those people that were there for us when we were there, you know. That's the whole emotion, the whole feeling behind the thing.
Fallen heroes never die. They live on and on in our hearts and minds. Sons and daughters,
It's not raining.
so brave and true. We will always remember you. Fallen heroes. Never die.
Each year, thousands of riders join together to show their support for the men and women who have fought for our country. The Illinois Motorcycle Freedom Run and the Middle East Conflicts Memorial Wall pay tribute to our country's fallen heroes.
In our silence, our heads are bowed. Our hearts are oh so sad that we are proud. Fallen heroes.
I'm proud to be in this thing today. Very proud.
Never die.
Motorcyclists from across the country join the ride to support this cause, to support the memorial wall, and most of all, to support the families of those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice.
The lights so that we can live. In a world of peace and harmony.
With no paid employees, the Illinois Motorcycle Freedom Run is driven entirely by volunteers. Each volunteer gives of themselves, from the board of directors to those working at the event, to honor the fallen heroes.
Our children ask us why. What will we tell them as they cry? Fallen heroes. You'll never die. I hope we realize that they gave their lives so that we could live. In a world of peace and harmony. Some days when the rain is falling down and questions run in circles in my head, I will remember all the good they've done. And heroes die, but they are never dead.
You know, the biggest casualty of any war or conflict is forgetting our fallen and their families.
I'd like to say my prayers are for all those young men and women on the wall that have lost their lives, the families that sit with us today that have lost their loved ones, and all these brave young men and women in uniform that are here with us today. As Tony said, please shake their hands and thank them. Thank every one of them.
Yeah, I hope we realize why they gave their lives so that we could live.
Nicholas H. Gideon, Chester W. Hosford, Isaac L. Johnson Jr., Andrew S. Charpentier. May they rest in peace.
Justin A. Casillas, Aaron E. Fairbairn, Brock H. Chavers, Mark A. Garner. May God keep their souls.
Kevin C. Thompson, Kevin O. Hill, Kenneth W. Westbrook, Aaron J. Taylor.
I am privileged and honored to be in the presence of any of the Gold Star families that are here, any of veterans that are here, and even though I don't know the names of the people that I'm about to read, I can guarantee you that every day this wall reminds me that freedom is not free. William J. Caher, Joshua M. Bernard, Nicholas R. Roche, Tyler R. Walshy. May they never be forgotten.
Tara Jean Smith, Matthew K. Swanson, Patrick W. Schimmel, Bruce E. Farrell, and John Tinsley. God bless you. Rest in peace.
Sean P. McCloskey, Joshua M. Mills, Jeremiah J. Monroe, David A. Davis, Corey J. Colwell.
Nicholas A. Mueller, Kyle R. Van Giesen, Brian R. Bates Jr., Robert R. Charlton. May God rest their soul. There's somebody we also want to remember. There was a gentleman that used to be out the wall probably every day that lost a battle with cancer just recently. We do want to remember Bernie Smith from Marseilles. And there's a guy that last year, or 2 years ago, I received his dog tag. His name is Joshua Rees. Joshua was in Iraq. His wife was pregnant. She had their baby boy. He got to see his son on the internet while the birth of his first child. The next morning, Josh was killed by an IED. Never had the opportunity to see his baby live. Josh, I carry him with me every day. This is to you, brother. And finally, I want everybody to say and remember in their prayers, my nephew, Jacob Mascarello, just arrived in Afghanistan for his first tour, and he's in Army Special Forces. So I want everybody to remember Jacob in their prayers. I want him to come home safe. And thank you to Tony and Jerry for doing this, getting this started, because not only helping me from a Gold Star family, it's helping everybody here. Thank you.
You know, this is solemn ground, like Lieutenant Pat Quitt, our governor, always would say. This is solemn ground. These people did not have a burial. This is the closest thing we could have to giving them a send-off. So thank you for staying here for the reading of the names. You know, it's not the sports heroes that are our heroes, their battles or whatever. They talk about Kobe Bryant, the Blackhawks. I'm not picking on the Blackhawks. But a real hero is somebody that raised their right hand to serve our country. All these men and women, these are the ones that keep evilness away. And it was Edmund Burke many, many years ago, one of our forefathers, that said, all that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good men and women to do nothing. These men and women did something. They sacrificed their lives. I would like to name the following as our heroes, true heroes for our country. The following heroes are Fernando de la Rosa, Luis Manuel Gonzalez, Jonathan A. Taylor, Dennis J. Hansen. I want to add one more person that was a big part of this Freedom Run. We lost him this past February. I just want everybody to know that he was a true volunteer for all our organizations, Michael Joker A. Bending. May all the following be forever remembered, and may they rest in peace. Thank you.
I feel an honor that I was asked to help with this today, and I'd like to thank Jerry and Tony and the Freedom Ride members and the people of Marseille for helping the families and taking care of our soldiers. Elijah John M. Rao, Jacob Latorre, Anthony C. Campbell Jr.,
Matthew N. Igham, Jamie R. Lowe, Nicholas K. Orzinskin, Lucas T. Beechnaw, Daniel D. Merriweather,
Eric D. Career, Kyle J. Coutu, Kylan T. Dunn, Larry M. Johnson. Just want to say it was an honor to read these names, and welcome home to all my fellow Vietnam vets.
Rick J. Centani, Robert J. Cottle, Austin H. Gates Benson. I would like to thank you for allowing me to read these names. May they rest in peace. And please pray for the safe return of my friend Tammy's son and also my friend Bill's son. Thank you.
I've got a special friend here, Mr. Christopher Abeda. He lost his son, Paul Abeda. And my good friend, Christopher Abeda's father, Paul. I'm sorry. And Melinda Aston, she lost her only child, Sergeant Brian Romines. And I would read one name, and I would like them to tell their little bit of story. And I'm honored to be here again. Brandon A. Barrett. Melinda, you want to tell your story? Please do.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Paul Abeda. I lost my son, Christopher Abeda. He died 2009, March 15th, in Afghanistan. He loved the military. He was a special boy. He died with some brave soldiers. He died with Sergeant Robert Wanger, Specialist Norman Kane, and Staff Sergeant Timothy Bowles. May they all rest in peace. Thank you. Richard R. Penny, Christopher Wrangler, Wade A. Slack,
Christopher R. Barton, Edwin Rivera, Jacob C. Lecht, Jake W. Suter. And not only do we honor the fallen, but also their families and friends. May they all rest in peace, and may the family get comfort and healing from this.
God bless. Come on.
Baby, I'm here! And I know you probably won't think about it the way I've act, but I am a teacher, an early childhood teacher, and I know how important our names are. And I know it's very important that everybody gets my son's name, so the reason I'm saying this is I want these families to know if I mispronounce your child's name, I am deeply sorry. I have read the names over and over trying to be sure, but I know because I'm hearing impaired, and so I have always had a hard time with pronunciations. So I'm telling you now, please forgive me. Matthew L. Deckard, Henry S. Officier, Tanner J. O'Leary. And before I read the last name to you, I would like to read a poem. It's April. With April comes spring. With spring comes the new spirit. sprouts. From the sprouts come the blossoms. From the blossoms come the flowers and the rich green grass. Where I lay my head down, looking into the clouds, and I feel your breath blow across my skin, and knowing that it's God's cool breeze of spring that reminds me you're here, even though it was this same spring breeze, April. God came down and swept you up and took you home. But I know each April, your breath is going to sweep back over me with a kiss. Joseph Adam McSween. I know God is holding all of our sons and daughters in his hands. And it is for our families, our soldiers, and our country is that we need to pray, because we want to keep America free.
First, I want to say thank you for asking me to do this again. It's a hard thing with my son's name up there from 2 years ago, but it's an honor to be able to read these names of somebody else's husband, wife, father, mother, or child. So with this, I'll get going. First name is Anthony A. Delizio, William Z. Vandisel, Joseph D. Fortin, Taylor D. Marks. And I want to say once again, as I did 2 years ago, my son's birthday's on Monday. Happy birthday, Eric.
I am Robert Gilbert Sr. My son was Marine Gunnery Sergeant Robert L. Gilbert II. He was serving as Operations Intelligence Staff Non-Commissioned Officer, Marine Special Operations Team, Marine Special Operations Golf Company, Marine Special Operations Battalion, USMC, October 2009 is when he was deployed. It was said by our late President Kennedy, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. Gunnery Sergeant Robert answered that call when he joined the Marine Corps 2 weeks after graduation in the year 2000 from high school. Robert completed 5 tours of duty overseas. In 2009, on his 5th tour of duty, he was sent to Afghanistan, and at the age of 27, with 9 years of service, he was promoted to Gunnery Sergeant. The following was written by the Commandant of the Marine Corps in regards to Operation Enduring Freedom in Bala Mahad, a province of Afghanistan where Robert was injured. On March 8, 2010, the teams aggressed pre-dawn into Bala Mahad. Gunnery Sergeant Robert Gilbert volunteered to provide overwatch for the rest of his patrol from a bare hilltop overlooking the small village. As the team came into contact with enemy forces, he returned fire with his M4 rifle, M203 grenade launcher, while continuing exposing himself to enemy fire in order to efficiently direct the actions of the Marines and the Afghanistan national soldiers he was fighting alongside. During this intense exchange of gunfire during this engagement, Gunnery Sergeant Gilbert was mortally wounded by enemy small arms fire. My son was mortally wounded in the head that morning and was airlifted out of the combat operation. Robert was treated in Afghanistan and was flown to Lasalle, Germany, the Lasalle German hospital. Notification was made to me on March 8th when he was shot. I was arranged to be sent to Germany from the Marine Corps, and I spoke to a surgeon that day who said, what allows your heart to beat and you to breathe is working. What makes you Gunnery Sergeant Robert is not. Upon arriving in Germany, we were met by liaisons who took us to the Army hospital, where surgeons did a scan of his brain and found that his chances of recovery were non-existent. I was advised by a Navy medic just 2 weeks earlier that Gunnery Sergeant Robert was shot with a 7.62 enemy round in his magazines, his .223 magazines, but was not wounded. I was permitted to accompany my son back on the Mississippi Air National Guard's C-17 cargo plane as a medical unit, so I got to be in Robert's world for a short time. It was a noisy flight, but I got to care for my son in a critical care unit. I was met back in Bethesda, Maryland by Senior Chief Tony, US Navy, Lieutenant Commander Doc, United States Navy, Chaplain Ben, United States Navy, Liaison Mac, U.S. Air Force, and Marty, United States Army. Robert was immediately treated and put into the intensive care unit. On the evening of March 12th, he was the recipient of the Purple Heart from Brigadier General Berger in the ICU unit. The surgeon met with us on the 13th and said that he had no chance of recovery. Prior to Robert's deployment, we were out riding our motorcycles. We kind of got into that. That was kind of fun. And before he was deployed, we had a beer and smoked a cigar, and Robert had a son-to-father talk, something I never thought I'd experience. He basically said, since we both did dangerous jobs, if either one of us are critically injured, we wouldn't keep the other one on life support. If we can't ride the bikes, if we can't drink a beer, if we can't smoke a cigar, let me go. Robert continued on a ventilator on March 14th, but struggled. He had one more thing apparently to accomplish. 1 hour before his 28th birthday, 15 family members, Marine brothers, and friends, we all gathered around to toast in his birthday with pill containers containing Jack Daniels. My liver has still not recovered from this. I don't know how you Marines do it, but we got in the ICU unit, which only allowed 2 people, and they had 15 of us. We toasted in Robert's birthday, and I rubbed Jack Daniels on his gums like I did 27 years ago when he was a child. On the 16th of March, my Robert struggled with pulmonary congestion. The nurses embraced us and said that he's in his final hours. And at 9:08 that evening, my son took his last breath, with his sister present and many friends holding on to him. In this tragedy, I believe I was given a bittersweet gift. I was present for my son's first breath. I was a medic in a fire department back in Ohio, and I got to deliver my son. And I was present for his last breath in Bethesda, Maryland at the Naval Hospital. Ronald Reagan said in 1985, quote, "Most people spend their lives wondering if they made a difference. Marines don't have that problem. I know that true of my son. He loved America. He believed in fighting for our freedom. In a letter that he wrote to me before his deployment, he accepted the fact that someday it might cost him his life." Illinois, thank you for inviting me to this event. The names that I have are as followed: Jeremy R. McQuarrie, Joshua H. Birchfield, Carlos M. Santos Silva, and my favorite, Robert L. Gilbert II.
Last year we were here for the first time to read the names ending in our son's name, Kevin Rico, who was killed in Afghanistan on October 27, 2008. We are both humbled and honored to read the names of these fallen heroes. Earl D. Werner, Todd W. Sledge, Jordan M. Shea,
Brian L. Zorn, Brian M. Patton, Breon T. Williams, Michael A. Rogers. May God bless them and their families.
I want to just say thank you to everybody out here, especially thank you to everybody that is involved with the wall. It's an honor to be able to read these names, but I'm sorry that I have to. Derek D. Waltley, Ralph A. W. Freitas, Hunter A. Dello,
Christopher D. Worrell, Keith A. Coe, Anthony O. McGee. Thank you all for being here. Remember, these are some brave young men and women, and they gave their todays for our tomorrows. God bless them. Hooah!
Thank you for allowing us to be here. It's an honor to read these names. Esau S.A. Gonzalez, Ralph Mina Jr., Stanley J. Sokolowski III, Matthew S. Cotu. I'm going to read 7 other names right now that I'd like for y'all to honor and remember, along with all of our veterans. On September 17, 2008, a flight of 4 Chinook helicopters left Udari Air Base in Kuwait, heading for Balad Air Base in north of Baghdad. There was 12 Chinook helicopters that left, and these were the last 4. They were several days behind. Of those 4 helicopters, Chalk 3, the 3rd helicopter in line, tail number 267, call sign, Red River 44. Chief Warrant Officer Brady Rudolph was a pilot. Captain Robert Vallejo was the co-pilot. Sergeant Major Julio Godfather Ordonez was a passenger. Chief Warrant Officer Corey Edwards was a passenger. Sergeant Anthony Mason was a flight engineer. Sergeant Daniel Eschbaugh, they called him Grumpy, was a flight engineer. Corporal Michael Tommy Gun Thompson was the door gunner, our son. We're proud to be Americans. Thank you all for being here. Thank the Wall for inviting us back. God bless America.
Hello, and thank you for letting us be part of this ceremony today. My name is Jeff Penich, brother of Sergeant John Penich, who was killed in Afghanistan October 16, 2008. Edward O. Philpott, Carlos Pineda, Robert J. Miller,
Adrian E. Hike, Sean F. Hill, Jeremy M. Hodge, and Bryce T. Howard.
My heart breaks for every family member that has lost anyone. Our lives will never be the same. I just want to say Happy Father's Day to all the Gold Star dads. I know it won't be the same, but you're blessed to have been given the gift from God to be able to raise such wonderful children. Thank you.
I'm a Navy Gold Star mom.
Thank you. I am truly honored to read the following names. I am Hisa Leon G. James II. Travis M. Woods. I'd like to thank you, staff, families and friends, and everybody that came out here today. It's because of you guys that keep us service members motivated, fighting, and keeping this country free. Hoorah!
Fallen heroes never die. They live on and on in our hearts and minds.
The memorial is paid for solely through contributions of American patriots. These donations, along with donated materials and labor, have built this beautiful memorial. Donations also assist veterans and their families.
Fallen heroes. Fallen heroes. Fallen heroes. Fallen heroes.
I've got family on the wall. I know the mixed feelings and the mixed emotions, you know. I know what it's all about. Go visit the wall and see what the ride's all about.
Join us each year on the 3rd Saturday of June as we ride to the wall.